Hello everyone. This is going to be a very short yoga practice of poses done lying on your back. You could do this practice just as a standalone practice, perhaps before going to bed, or you could follow it with other videos that I'm going to make with standing poses and a more complete practice. Okay. Generally, I start my practices lying on my back these days because I'm often lacking in motivation, and it's easier to lie down than it is to stand up or even to sit up on your yoga mat. So now I will invite you to just lie down on your back. Just take a moment to get comfortable and perhaps close your eyes and just feel your body sinking into the floor. Feel your breath, feel your chest rise or your belly rise as you inhale, and just allow it to sink down as you completely exhale the breath. Just continue breathing slowly and smoothly. You may keep your eyes closed if you wish, or allow them to open. Begin by bringing your right knee in toward your chest and just hold it with both hands. Each time you exhale, you can draw the knee in a little bit closer to your chest. And as you inhale, you can let off that stretch. And over the next several breaths, you'll find that your thigh just comes in a little bit closer, but it's a very gentle movement, no strain, no forcing. Turn your attention inward and just notice where you feel the sensation of this stretch. You likely feel it in the hip crease, but hopefully also you just notice some lengthening and just general space being created in the lower back, the area that's often very tight. This can be quite a nice pose just on its own, just to practice at the end of a day when you've been sitting a lot. And then from here you can extend your leg up, perhaps circle your foot a couple times in both directions and stretch the ankle. If the backs of the legs are tight, you might want to loop a strap, like a yoga strap if you have one, or even just like the tie from your bathrobe would work. You hold it in both hands. If you don't have anything like I don't today, you can just hold the back of your leg. And some of you might be able to reach up and grab your big toe. But that's not necessary, as long as you feel a stretch through the back of the thigh. As you extend the heel toward the ceiling, feel the stretch through the calf muscle. Just keep your breath slow and steady. And then from here, you're going to open the leg out to the side. I'd begin by bringing your left hand or your left arm, extend it out to its side as balance for opening the thigh up. You can rest your elbow on the floor for some support as you hold your leg. And again, it's nice if you can grab your big toe because then it's actually easier. But if you don't have that openness in your hips, then you'll be wanting to use a strap that you're holding at least in one hand. And feel the stretch in your inner thigh and inner leg. So one more full breath here. And an in-breath, draw the leg up. Extend the heel toward the ceiling, draw the toes back down toward you. Feel an intense stretch through the back of the leg. And now we're going to stretch the leg over the midline of the body. So now you're just moving it in the opposite direction. Just holding the back of the leg with your left hand, grabbing the toe if that's available to you. And then think about drawing the hip crease, your right hip crease, down toward the short end of your yoga mat as you cross the leg over the midline of your body. And you should feel this stretch through the outside of your thigh and down through the outer lower leg. Every body is different, and I feel this one quite intensely, which tells me it's something my body probably needs. Draw your leg back up, last time. And now you're going to cross your ankle over your left knee or upper thigh and hold your left thigh drawn in toward you. So it's sometimes called the thread the needle pose. I don't know if you can see it very well on this video, but you could be holding your shin or the back of your thigh. As you exhale, draw that thigh in closer toward you, which increases the stretch. You can also increase the stretch by pressing the right knee slightly away from you with your right elbow. Flex your toes slightly. That'll just activate the muscles that protect your knee. And just check in, make sure you don't feel any pain or discomfort around any of the joints. But you should feel a good, healthy stretch through the buttock and outer hip. Last breath here. And release. Just for a moment, lie as if in Shavasana or corpse pose. Maybe roll your legs inward and outward a couple times. Close your eyes and just notice how the right side feels compared to the left. It might feel the same, but it also might feel quite different. Feel the effect of the stretches we just did. So we'll do all of that again on the second side. So begin by bringing your left knee in toward your chest. And close your eyes and just take a moment to savor this stretch. There's really nothing to it. It's called wind relieving pose. You can practice it if you're constipated. But I mostly like it just to stretch the lower back. And it's not like a big pose. The feeling isn't very intense. It's just more subtle. And I enjoy this stretch more and more over time the more I practice it. And then from here, extend your left heel up toward the ceiling, straightening that knee. It might be slightly bent if the back of the leg is tight, and that's fine. You might also start with it more bent, and then over time, with each exhalation, begin to straighten it more. If you have that yoga strap, you have it looped around the ball of your foot, and you're holding the ends in both hands. With each exhalation, extend the heel up, draw the toes down toward you, and draw the leg in toward you. Keep the leg that's on the floor anchored down, slightly pressing it into the yoga mat. And then from that solid foundation, you can deepen the stretch. I probably don't have enough room to open my leg up fully to the side, but that's what we're going to do next. Extend your right arm on the floor, just for balance. Then begin to open the left leg up. Rest the elbow on the floor for some support. Holding whatever you can on your leg as you open it up. Maybe you can hold the big toe when I have just enough room. And stay here for several breaths. Again, keeping the right leg kind of firmed and anchored down into the floor. Keeping your right shoulder blade firmly on the floor. And over time, as you stay here for several cycles of breath, the leg can open up more and more. Just feel that stretch through the inner leg. And remember not to ever hold your breath. If you notice that that's happening, maybe you're in too deep of a stretch and you want to let off slightly. Inhale, bring that leg up. Hold it in the other hand. So right hand holds the leg or the big toe. Extend the left arm out onto the floor just to create some balance as you cross the leg over the midline. Ooh. Extend the left hip crease or reach it toward the bottom end of your yoga mat. You'll feel some intensifying of the stretch as you do that. And with each out breath, you can cross it a little more over the body. It might be just a very subtle movement coming past the midline, and that could be plenty of stretch for your body. Stretches through the IT band and down through the peroneus or fibularis. That's that muscle that kind of runs down the side of your lower leg. Inhale that leg back up. One more full stretch. This is reclined. Head to knee pose. And release. Okay, and coming into thread the needle pose on the second side. Keeping this foot on the floor might be enough. You can already feel a good stretch through your outer left hip. And if you want more, pick that right foot up. Hold the thigh or the shin. Flex all 10 toes slightly. And just find just the right amount of stretch for your body by drawing the leg in with each out breath. And perhaps pressing the left knee away with your elbow. And none of that might be necessary. You might have plenty of sensation. And then release out of thread the needle. Extend both legs out into corpse pose. Close your eyes. Maybe move your hips around. Roll your legs inward and outward a few times. And then just let everything settle. And just take in the effects of those poses. So next we'll come into bridge pose or Situ Bandhasana in Sanskrit. Bend both knees, feet on the floor, reaching your arms down. You kind of just want to be able to touch your heels with your middle fingers. And that's about the right distance for your feet to your hips. Feel that your feet are parallel with each other, and if you don't have a good sense of that, you can actually look up and check. Make sure that they're not pigeon-toed or duck-footed, like toes aren't turning inward or outward, but are straight forward. Tuck your shoulder blades beneath you, closer, tuck them in toward your spine. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift your hips off the ground and keep lifting. And shrug your shoulder blades in toward each other some more. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Tuck your chin slightly and just check that there's no tension in your neck. And this is a pose where you don't want to be looking at the screen. Do not have your head turned to the side. If you like, you can interlace your fingers beneath you and reach your hands down toward your heels. Press your feet into the floor. And now just notice as you kind of pull your heels up toward your hands. Like they're still on the floor. It's just a slightly dragging your feet backwards. And feel all those muscles in the backs of the legs and the buttocks activate. As you get tired, your knees want to fall away from each other and the buttocks release. So just try to counteract that by keeping the knees parallel, or the thighs parallel, I should say. Keep reaching the hands toward the heels. Reaching the heels up toward the hands. Feel a big stretch to the front of the thighs and the hips, opening across the chest as the collarbones separate and broaden. And then release the clasp of your hands, lift your heels, and very slowly settle your back onto the floor. You can hug your knees in toward your chest, both of them this time, and just rock side to side. Maybe draw some circles with your lower back, kind of massaging it into the floor. And draw the circles the other way. And we're getting close to the end of this supine practice. Let's see, from here, I think we'll just move into, we'll do a couple more. We're gonna do happy baby pose next. If you can reach your big toes, just grab them, straighten your legs up for a moment, and then bending your knees, bring them down while your heels point toward the ceiling. You could be holding the outer edges of your feet or looping your big toes with your peace fingers. Just keep drawing the knees down, heels up, and then press your tailbone down toward the short end of your yoga mat. Just feel that lengthening in your lower back. And then you can just have some fun with it by rocking side to side. I don't have quite enough room. All right, maybe you don't have to do this, but you can straighten the legs up toward the ceiling. Straighten them, pulling them down into a wide V, and then release. Placing the soles of your feet together on the yoga mat. With your hands on your hip creases, just lengthen your lower back by pressing down on your thighs. Just gentle, not rough. If this is very tight in your body, you could place some yoga blocks if you have them underneath your outer thighs, or just use anything you have, like a rolled up sweater or a throw pillow underneath your thighs to give them some support so they feel like safe and comfortable, and the pose can actually do its job just to release and open the body. Okay, you can keep your hands just resting on your thighs, elbows on the floor. Tuck your shoulder blades in toward the spine to open the chest. You could also just have your hands on the floor, palms turned up as in corpse pose. And then if you'd like a little more chest opening, you could have your arms like in cactus arms, so elbows bent, opening them up until the forearms come right down onto the floor. And then you'll want to pull your shoulder blades even closer toward the midline. And if you decide that, oh, you tried it, but this is like a little too much, your chest is a little too open, or your back is really arching, then just extend your arms down the sides, palms up, or rest them on your thighs. And with your eyes closed, just turn your attention inward. Feel your belly rise with each in-breath and fall with each out-breath. From here, you might just extend into Shavasana for a brief relaxation. Or if you want to continue on to do some more active poses, you can just switch to my next video that will be made soon. But for today, let's just say that you're going to finish the practice. So eyes closed, feet widened about the width of your yoga mat, arms extended from your body about 45 degrees with the palms turned up. Make any small movements you need to, little adjustments to get comfortable. And then become very still. Where the only movement is that which is caused by the breath. Feeling it mostly in your abdomen, slightly, an expansion of the rib cage with the inhalation, and a contraction with the exhalation. Just allow your body to be heavy. Just let go of tension, any holding of your muscles in a certain way. Let them soften, and let your whole body be supported by the floor beneath you. Just give in to that support and be held. Scan your face, looking for areas of tension in your jaw or cheeks or around your eyes. And with your next exhalation, just let that all go. Let your cheeks be slack, your jaw soft, the little space between your teeth. Feel your forehead smooth, any fine lines around your eyes just soften and become smooth. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like, just letting go more and more. There's no effort here, there's nothing that you're trying to do, it's more of a release of effort. If your thoughts move forward into the future or ruminate on things that have already happened in the past, just notice that that has occurred and bring your attention back to your breathing. And perhaps scan your body some more, looking for common areas of held tension, such as in the hands. Let the palms of the hands soften. The fingers relax. And if your mind is restless and you find yourself thinking about other things, just be gentle and kind to yourself. Remember, that's the nature of the mind, is to think. It does not become still automatically, or ever really. Just notice when the mind has wandered off, and just draw your attention back to the here and now. Remind yourself that there's nothing else to do, there's nowhere to go. All that exists is this moment. Take this time for yourself to rest and restore. To recharge and renew yourself, so that you can go forward into the rest of the day with renewed grace and alertness. When you're ready, you can begin to move your fingers, move your toes, and stay very present, just noticing how it feels to introduce movement back into your body after a period of stillness. You might reach your arms up past your head. Stretch from your hands all the way down to your toes, stretching your right side and your left side. And then rolling over to the right. Just take a moment in this fetal pose. This is like the transition area between your practice and the rest of your day. Any sense of calm that you experienced in your practice, maybe set an intention to bring that into the rest of your day moving forward. And then pressing into the hand that's on the floor, push yourself back up to sitting. And then continuing with the mindful transition, just take a moment or two sitting cross-legged on your floor, on the floor. You might place your hands on your chest, so giving yourself a little hug. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking this time to practice. And I thank you for participating and practicing with me. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste.